before I get into that, down below, if you're interested in getting my book, Lilith, the Dark Goddess Who Glissades in the Shadows, the link should be down below in the description to get either the ebook version or the printed version. Without further ado, let's get into about Prince Orobas from the written piece by S.L. McGregor Matthews, the Goetia, the Lesser King of Solomon. Orobas, the 55th spirit. He is a mighty prince, appearing at first like a horse, but after the command of the exorcist or the summoner, he putteth on the image of a man. His office is to discover all things past, present, and to come, also gives dignities and proclaims, and the favor of friends and foes. He giveth true answers of divinity and the creation of the world. He is very faithful unto the summoner, exorcist, and will not suffer him to be tempted of any spirit. He governs a total of 20 legions of spirits. And then my little summary of it. Orobas is a fallen, number 55 of 72. He is a prince and governs 20 legions. He makes his first appearance as a horse figure, but then changes to a man. However, I also see Orobas when he has come towards me. I see him as a horse and human figure mixed together, standing on the hooves and then having the torso and arms of a man and a horse head. He discovers all things past, present, and future and gives favors, gives true answers to questions of the past and the future and present, of any divinity and the creation of the world. He is phenomenally faithful and ensures the safety of the magician, and does not ever risk their well-being. He was also part of the Angelic Order of Thrones. So, first off, his appearance. Appearing as a horse. What is a horse? A horse is usually a indication of something being free-spirited, being able to go anywhere desired and have the immense stamina. So Orobas is actually able to take great initiative when he is petitioned or invited. But then he's able to transform or shape into a human figure. In other words, he's able to adapt to the one who is calling him. He discovers all things past, present, and future. So he's actually able to help you see and kind of formulate what had happened in the past if it's been lost in history, or if there's an event you can't remember, he'll be able to help you revisit that and be reminded of it, and also advise you a strategic way regarding your current present, but as well also potentially help forecast what's coming towards you to the best of his ability, hence why him giving true answers regarding it. He'll always give you the point blank upfront about whatever situation it is, even to a point where it's point blank and you do not want to hear it. But in actuality, that's a good thing, because when you know the truth about how something is, you're not going to feel let on. You might be let down in the moment, but in due time, you'll come to terms with it. He gives true answers for the past, present, and future, of course, and bestows great favors. Now, bestowing great favors, in other words, he can assist in any endeavor you need, and you need help with something you can't do, or being able to assist you in any endeavor. He can. Doesn't mean he will. He can bestow you some assistance in any endeavor, but will he do it? That's up to him. And he gives true answers regarding divinity. So if you're wanting to have a true viewpoint of a certain deity, divine, or other Goetic divine for that matter, Orobas can help you somewhat gain an understanding of whichever that Goetic divine is, and their character, their history, and understanding of them, which is a really vital tool you need to have, understanding. If you don't have understanding, you're not going to have that connection as strong. And the creation of the world. So Orobas will be able to give you the truth regarding the creation of another person's perspective. In other words, how did this person's perspective come through? Because perspective is your viewpoint of the world. The world and how you're seeing it is perspective. The creation of the world is how your perspective was made of the world. So this can help you better understand somebody's viewpoint of the world and how it came about that way. So you can better understand and have that connection into a more deeper way than just not really understanding why somebody's acting a certain way. Orobas is intensely devoted to the magician. In other words, Orobas is not a Goetic divine that'll ever risk your well-being or safety, what have you. In other words, Orobas is a very protective, it's best to put it, think of him like an advocate for you. If there is any kind of malefic or baneful entity around you, Orobas will protect you and does not want you to be exposed to anything that's going to provide you any risk. And he does not like them to be tempted by other, it's saying demon, but in this case, I'm going to be rephrasing that as does not like them to be tempted by any other malefic being. Because not all the Goetic divines act in an intentionally malefic way. They don't. They don't do that. They may act in response to retaliation, to being threatened. That's different. But now say if you're being harassed by a trickster spirit or an entity that's causing you harm, Orobas will protect you and not let anything happen to you to the best of his ability. Which is noble and admirable. In actuality, Orobas is one of the Goetic divines that I highly recommend someone brand new that's studying the Goetia to invest with in the beginning. And in the Goetia Tarot of Darkness, here is how he's depicted. You see a woman figure, surprisingly, holding a cross that's actually piercing the earth and shattering it. And then on the opposing side, it is another cross that looks like it's being engulfed by a snake, like curling around him. But specifically, these crosses are actually swords, and she's stabbing the ground below her. Kind of like, in a way, crutches. And then the head of the horse is down at the bottom behind her. And this planetary association and zodiac sign is Jupiter Guru in Capricorn, which is usually a debilitated position for Jupiter. In other words, he gets pissed off in that sign. And in this deck, Orobas is the World card. So how can this relate to Orobas? Well, Jupiter is Baraspati, a guru figure, and Capricorn is the supreme sign, the sign that has the most lunar mansions than any other zodiac sign. Capricorn is the sign related to status, service, work, standing in society, and doing essentially disciplined work, staying focused, organization, structure, authority, and keeping things ordered in check. It is also the sign related to Saturnus and the entire left-hand path, because Capricorn now is actually depicted by the goat, the sea goat, but originally in Vedic astrology it was depicted as crocodile. But nonetheless, having Jupiter in Capricorn, believe it or not, makes someone actually very practical in how they actually provide their wisdom. And since Capricorn is the sign of order and strict discipline, having a guru figure be strict and point blank with reality, that's also Orobas, giving the true answers whether you want to hear them or not. And since Capricorn is also the sign of duty, Orobas does his duty in protecting the one who calls to him. No ifs, ands, buts, or tushies, whoever it is. He provides his best support and protection, whether he wants to or not. That's just part of his character. And it being the World card, Orobas fits perfectly. And why is that? At first, you're asking for the truth, point blank answer regarding whichever thing you're inquiring about. That is essentially the Fool. Gaining that groundbreaking clarity. See the ground being broken below your feet? Obtaining that, there's your world. The ground shatters. Your awareness of not knowing is now known. Something ends, which is not knowing and ignorance. So something new can begin, which is now knowing. And now that you know, you can proceed to something new with the next Fool that starts. So overall, Orobas is actually a really supportive and a really protective Goetic divine that I highly suggest that everyone, alongside Duke Agris, to invest with, because he only seeks to provide you the best answers, the truthful answers, and ensure you're safe and protected in any kind of endeavor that you're inquiring about, and ensure that nothing happens to you, but also not to sugarcoat anything and tell you exactly how it is. So he will be a great asset to anybody that's wanting to study the Goetia. So we will see who our next Goetic divine will be. If you already know what I'm going to be saying. Conga lines. Lots and lots of conga lines. Our next Goetic divine is King Paimon. He is going to be a lot of fun to talk about. But other than that, if you have any experiences with Prince Orobas, share down below in the comments section what you can provide for Orobas. And then I guess I'll just see all you on the next installment of Gems in the Goetia with King Paimon.